Yesterday we did a live video showing you how to layer milk paint to get a chippy, crackled effect. Today I'm going to show you how to distress it and seal it with white and clear wax. Here's a quick recap of what we did yesterday. You're definitely going to want to watch the live video because it has way more detail. But we spray painted their piece with black satin spray paint made by Rust-Oleum. And then we layered on gray paint that I mixed using Sweet Pickin's Lantern and Sweet Pickin's Flour Sack. And then we used a squirt bottle to help blend it. We also used the Paint Pixie Dusty and the Paint Pixie 1 3/4 brush. On this dresser, we got so much yummy crackle, tons of chipping that's already started to come off, but to help it along the way and smooth it out, I'm gonna take my orbital sander with 220 sandpaper. I'm gonna sand the whole thing nice and smooth, going soft, not to take off too much, and then I'll use my air hose to remove any of the excess chippy. I'm also gonna sand around the edges of all the drawers because we did paint with them in, and I wanna make sure that my drawers slide well. So here's the drawer. It's got runs and drips in the drawer. It's got a little bit of texture, but the thing about milk paint is when you sand it, it gets buttery smooth. So what will be left behind is a look that will look as if it's been worn and aged over time and left outside in the weather. The only good news is it's actually structurally sound, even though it looks old. So here's another trick. If you've got a lot of chips like this dresser has, if you have an air hose and a nozzle like this, you can spray the chips off. If you don't have that, you can try a blow dryer or even just hand sand all the areas, all the nooks and crannies, but I find that this is much faster to remove all the extra chippy. So we've got it all sanded, we've got the chippy coming off. I may still have a few chips that come off when I wax it, but once it's waxed, it should be pretty well done. On occasion, if it's super chippy, it gets a little bit hard to control, but just keep waxing and buffing and you should be fine. Next step is the white wax. I'm going to be waxing. Zeb's gonna follow behind me with a lint-free rag and rub it in. If you don't have somebody to help you, just do a small section, rub it in, and then move to the next section. Probably a dresser like this would be about 6 sections. I decided instead of wiping it off, I'm going to white wax it. Zeb's going to clear wax it, and then we'll come behind and buff it. What the clear waxing does is it blends my lines and makes it less harsh. And I'm just basically framing out all the drawers and all the detail. And when he clear waxes it, it'll bring it into the middle section. It's also really great because all these areas where there's like a ton of really great crackle, the white is going to highlight that.
So I'm making sure to get full coverage on all the drawers, and Jamie's coming back through now with our lint-free rag. That's the Tekla. It's 79 cents at IKEA. That's what that rag's called. We love them. After that, we'll go in with a Q-tip and get all the little cracks and things where it's built up thick.
We also take the drawers out too, and that'll get all the ledges. It's just easier to wax them in place.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the knobs on so you guys can see what it looks like finished. But we'll probably take these back off tomorrow morning. That way we can buff the drawers real good, because it's gonna need a buff all over after it's sat about 24 hours to really help that wax be rubbed in and have a nice sheen. Normally these knobs are $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. They've got their half off week going. They do that about every other week. They'll do like half off certain things, and it's half off knob week this week there, so we took advantage of that.
This dresser turned out pretty darn good. It's kind of masculine, which is not like the thing I do a lot. I wanted to see if I could do something masculine. I wanted to do the technique with the spray paint because our #1 watched video, which we'll link below, is a video where I spray painted it and I milk painted over it. A lot of people have tried to do it. 99% of the time they get the exact same results, but then there's a few people like, I did it. It didn't turn out. So I thought, well, I'll do it live. And then
see if we can get some Crackle.
See if I can do it. And I did it live. And again, I got Crackle, I got Chippy, all the amazingness. So if you want to watch the live video of the painting part, click the link below. You can watch that. You can also watch the other video. I'll have Zeb linked down there if you haven't watched it already, where we did a similar look with different colors.
I feel like the wax really tied everything in, not just the black and the gray, but the wood too, because when she was hosing it off, it exposed some of that wood and pulled some of that spray paint that we had put on there, and the white wax really softened that out and kind of tied everything in together.
And if you wanted it to be a little bit moodier, you could switch the white for a black, but if you do that, be sure to clear wax it first, because that black is very pigmented and you might get too much darkness on there. With the white, I usually don't worry about it. We just clear wax right afterwards and we get a really great look.
Yeah, you could go from having a gray dresser to a black dresser.
Yeah, it happens real quick. Try a test area if you're not sure. That's the best way, even a test board sometimes, especially when you're trying out new look. Here's a rundown of all the products we used. We used Sweet Pickin's Milk Paint in Lantern as well as Flour Sack to get the varying shades of gray. And if you don't want to use a gray color, you can use the same technique with any of our colors. Just take one color and then also pick up some white and you can make a ton of shades for a tone-on-tone look. We also used Extra Bond, clear wax, white wax, the 1 3/4 Pixie, and we use the Dusty to do the base color. Am I mixed? Oh, also we use the wax brush. Everything we use you can pick up at jamirayvintage.com.
Do you have friends that are into DIY or the farmhouse look or even just furniture flipping? We'd love it if you shared this video.
Don't forget to hit that notifications button so you don't miss our Wednesday lives where we paint live on camera, as well as our Saturday lives where we show all of our haul for the week for our thrifting finds and all of our videos that we do throughout the week. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.